Well, as expected, the funny numbers came out, and I call it funny numbers. And I've been in accounting a long time, and I've seen a lot of different things that go on. I heard a lot of different things, heard stuff, seen things, whatever. Not that I'm going to mention specifics, but there's a lot of ways you can actually honestly make numbers come out a certain way too. Right? It's called, accounting is almost like statistics. What the hell they talk about statistics? There's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics. And you can be 100% honest and accurate following all the rules, but there's a lot of different ways you can do things. That's a fact, right? So the government actually wants to make things look rosy, and they're not rosy. Like I said about the garbage index is down, which means people are not throwing away as much stuff. And I also talked about before the hooker and gambling index, which is like the net disposable, the good measure of the true net disposable income of people. They blow money on prostitutes and gambling when the prices go up and stuff. And there's also that other indication out there, the good-looking quality of waitresses, because actually you'll see better-looking waitresses when there's less jobs around, because usually the better-looking women find jobs in offices, and if they can't find jobs, they become waitresses, and so you got better-looking waitresses in a lower economy, right? So anyway, I like doing this shit anyway, so this is my deal. Anyway, there was an estimate of adding 120,000 jobs in October. That was the estimate. So the jobs report comes out, and they just blew that estimate away. The jobs report says 204,000 actual. That's what they said. But just like that other report that came out a little over 2 weeks ago about the Chicago PMI, it was the highest in 30 years. It was 65.9, blew away all the estimates. So like the government shutdown didn't mean a damn thing. But there's other numbers out there that indicate that there's major problems going on. And, I'm going to add a couple things on with this too. I'm going to try to bring these up shorter, but, talk faster or whatever the hell it is. So you got the estimate that they added a lot more jobs. The actual numbers came in a hell of a lot higher than the estimate. So therefore, the speculative silver dropped and precious metals dropped. Speculative. It's got a speculative side to it besides an essential side. It's a mixture of various things. Silver is like wears a bunch of hats. You know what I mean? It's it's speculative. It's essential. It's medicine. It's jewelry, it looks cool and shiny and everything else, right? So, it went down because, it looks like you don't need to speculate that there's going to be problems in the economy, whatever, right? But the other side of it is the labor force. The labor force is actually, there's almost 1 million people dropped out of the labor force in a month. There's actually... Now it's something like 60, instead of 63.2% in the labor force, it's 62.8%. There was 932,000 increase of people not in the labor force. So they added jobs, but then a whole bunch of other people went out. It's almost like saying, you had a gambling bet, and you said, yeah, I won here, I won these, say you're betting on races and horses. I won 2 horses, so, races, and I'm like, wow, that's great, and you're bragging about your winnings, yet you lost 8 bets and something else. So that's kind of like what the government's telling you here, We won 2 horses, we won 2 horse races, so we did great in this one area, but the net sum picture is bad for unemployment and employment. It's very bad, so... And actually, this was the 3rd highest monthly increase in dropouts, dropping out of the employment, employed payroll area in history of keeping statistics on the labor force. And actually, if it goes at this rate, it's not going to go at this rate, but if it went at that rate and it did this every month for the next 48 months, there'd be more people out of the workforce than in the workforce. If you want to get emotional and twist numbers around, but it's bad, So actually, the numbers for October aren't good. How's that? Even though the government's saying they're good. So what I got to tell you this though, one thing that people are kind of missing with silver. Actually, silver is a smart investment. I know it's going to jump up. It's probably going to get into bubble mania someday, and it will. It will. It may actually. I think it's going to do good in 2014. Now, actually, in early 2013, if you look back at the experts, 40 out of 40 experts that were predicting, and I'm not talking, they weren't like silver people, like they were just, financial experts on the markets. They expected silver to bounce to be about $40 in 2013. That was the expectation in very, very early 2013. And now you look at it, you'd be like, no way in hell is you can even hit 30 in 2013, right? But the point is, you're not saving silver because of a purely speculative bet. But like I said, don't be afraid to get rid of it when it gets really, really lopsided. Like you could buy, big ticket items really cheap for like, a couple rolls of silver coins, I mean, that's a little common sense there, because even then people are going to be saying hold, hold, hold. And I don't know, that'd be getting dangerous. Nobody's going to really know the exact point of the bubble, but if you make a hell of a lot of gains, hey, unload some. But, the thing is with this, it looks like these numbers are totally fake, and it's something just being pumped up by the administration. But how is this going to affect Fed Reserve policy? I still think they're going to keep pushing for QE. They'll still be doing QE. But, we've already observed that QE is actually helping the general equities markets than actually helping the commodities markets. Where I say the thing is, I don't know when this is going to start, because it almost happened in late spring of 2012, early summer of 2012. Netanyahu almost said he was going to attack Iran. If there's anything like that happens, like if we had a ground war with Syria right now, oil would be going up, gold would be going up, and silver would be going up. The Middle East actually is the key. I know there's always tensions in the Middle East, but if you get some really, really severe tensions in the Middle East, that's when you're going to see the metals go up a lot, and fuel's going to go up a lot. Now, if you really want the answer for like breaking the elite, I wish I knew, some real, I'm not too stupid in a lot of things, but I'm not smart enough, I think, to develop free energy. But the thing is, actually, free energy has been around, and it has been discovered by Nikola Tesla a long time ago. Nikola Tesla was like the lone wolf that really brought out and changed our whole society. It wasn't Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison worked with like about 15 scientists in Menlo Park, but it was like all under the Edison name. But as in case of Nikola Tesla, that's the guy that really changed our world, and he got screwed over for doing it, I guess. But if you really want to break the elite, a lot of people are trying to just buy silver to opt out of the system, break the elite, break the power, break the establishment. A lot of people are doing that, right? That's what all these silver people are doing is. I'm not really doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I think it's going to make some money, and it's going to get me more stuff later, Greed, right? But, and actually I think it's a permanent type of investment too, as always have part of your money in silver. It's always smart to do that, just for part of it. But what's actually going to break the elite, if you really want to break the elite, it's going to be energy. Energy. If we actually, anybody that can grab the horns of the bull or whatever the hell it is and run with the ball and all this kind of garbage, and use less and less energy, because the elite actually control us through oil. And it's a game that goes on in every country. It's Vladimir Putin's doing it. I'm sure Russian engineers, they got some of the brightest engineers in the world over there. They're not going to bring out some free technology that's going to, greatly lessen the dependency on oil, because they want you to keep, it's like a drug. You got to have it. You need energy, right? You need oil, right? The Chinese elite do this crap too. Everybody does it. I think the only ones that broke that rule was Japan, and thus they had the tsunami, and which Zeranovsky talked about, right? I'll link another video I did on that because I don't want to repeat all that there. But you know, silver is not going to break the banksters, man. Silver's not going to break the banksters. But what's going to happen, I think, like I said, these numbers, you know, I wouldn't count on $9 silver. All right, don't be betting on that either, because it's already taken a big hit and the mines are already losing money. But you know, these numbers, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. It's like they told you something, and actually the government has other numbers that are telling you the employment situation is extremely bad in the United States, and they're only emphasizing the fact that, you know, the estimate was 120,000 jobs to be added in October, and it turned out to be 204,000 actual. But there's other numbers out there that say there was almost 1 million people that dropped off the labor force in October at the same time. So that's like saying you gained this much money, but you lost this much money, and you're only bragging about the gain here, and you lost this much. That's your government for you. That's actually, everybody does that kind of crap, you know? Everybody does that kind of crap. They don't want to tell you the bad news. So, anyway, you know, it's going to actually, reality's going to hit, so which means the only possible way for the central bank to remedy the situation is to try to stimulate the economy through money printing. And a lot of that money printing is just going to go to the top dogs in the economy, not going to go to the middle class, so it's not really going to stimulate the economy. Where this economy is actually going to get rolling is probably through warfare. And it's been age old if you look back all the way, you know. It seems like this cycle. It's boom and bust, boom and bust, boom and bust. And a lot of times booms are in when warfare occurs. And if it doesn't go for good for the United States, then we're really going to have a problem. But it probably will. It probably will. You know, so that's the evil world for you, man. What can I tell you? That's just how it is. So I'm trying to give you some straight scoop on this. Stick with your silver. It's kind of boring right now. It ain't going to do much. But these numbers where it brought down silver, you know, today, basically that's why it brought it down, because of the jobs report. They're not telling you the whole story. The jobs report is good in this area, and in this area it's very bad. Like almost 1 million dropped off the payroll. How's that? Where they added 204,000, they lost 932,000. But they're telling you about they added 204,000, and that beat expectations. And who knows if those numbers are even good too, right? So anyway, reality's going to catch up, and the only way out of that mess is to stimulate the economy. And I think they're going to stimulate the economy just the way they did in the Great Depression. You know, what did they do back then? It got us involved in war, didn't it? It didn't it? And actually, if you want to break even that system, again, going back to 101, free energy. Free energy. Free energy is going to solve the problem for everybody. Ain't going to make people nice, but it's going to solve the problems for everybody. That's what it'll do. So the free, you know, hemp is part of that answer right now. Immediately. Hemp. Industrial hemp. Industrial hemp. So if you get anything out of this video, just remember that crap about industrial hemp, because even without getting into fancy Nikola Tesla hidden secrets, industrial hemp could put a big damper on the demand for crude oil and break the power of the elite right there. That's why they don't let you grow it, because it produces 10 times the amount of gasoline as corn. Right? Right? Anyway, so the picture that they're giving you out in the major media is not factual about the jobs report. They're telling you, you know, we gained this much, but we lost this much, and they're not telling you about we lost this much. That's fallacy, so they're basically lying. So there you go. What else is new, right? Major media lies.